These are the hardest games for the Sega Genesis. And this is my own list. You might see a game on this list and say, it's not that hard. Or maybe one of your most difficult games isn't on this list. Either way, you'll have to tell me about it in the comments. I know you will. And while you're at it, you can subscribe. It's absolutely free. You can subscribe to every channel you ever watch. And I'd appreciate if you subscribe to mine too. You can also support the channel by checking out the hats I sell. I also make video games like my Nintendo games, my NES games, the air fresheners I make. Huge support. You can check out my shop in the link below. And yes, I am kind of speeding things along. I feel fine, but my voice is still kind of shot. So we're just going to get through this together. Kicking the list off with a personal favorite of mine, Kid Chameleon. I loved the concept of Kid Chameleon when I first played it. It was a game I rented a lot. I didn't actually own this game until later in life. But I love the idea. There's like, a little platformer, but then the different masks, the different helmets, would give you different abilities. Now, Mask, the cartoon, was like my favorite cartoon at the time, so maybe it was a little bit like that. I don't know, it's kind of cool to see what's fun coming up and everything. But this game takes forever. You'd figure it would be, not easy by any means. But you'd figure, you could figure things out, which yes, you can, but there are way too many levels in this game, and the later levels difficulty just amps up out of nowhere. Still love this game, it's still just super hard. Chuckin' the Forever Man goes down as probably the coolest looking Sega Genesis game, however, super difficult. I remember first seeing this or hearing about it, I was like, oh, this guy looks super awesome. He has this kind of grim hat. He's kind of skeletal. It deals with alchemy. There's like, dual wielding swords and all that. You can go to different levels and through portals of space and time and whatever. It's like, what's not to love about all of that? And what's not to love is how difficult this is. It's like, you feel like nobody can tell you anything until you slip and fall and you die because you fell in a pit or something like that. It's like, really? That's what it is. And even when you do try to play it longer and run into enemies and stuff like that too, it is a tough game here. Ed Annunziata, I love you, but man, this game is difficult. And yes, at the beginning I did say Chakan the Forever Man. That's kind of how I heard it as. I know some people might say Shakan the Forever Man or Shaka Khan the Forever Man. I don't know. There's 1,000 ways to pronounce it. Chakan the Forever Man. Whatever is good. Comix Zone, another popular game for the Sega Genesis, but man, this is a pretty brutally difficult game for me anyway, and from others that I've heard as well. Great idea for a game. Love the animation, love the art. I love the fact that you're basically in a comic and you go from panel to panel, and then it turns into just kind of a side-scrolling beat-em-up in a way. But difficulty through the roof on this one, or maybe through the panel? I don't know. Comix Zone, man, it's one of those games I've never gone through it personally. I've tried. It gets pretty hard later, but yeah, it's a fun one. It's just pretty hard. Fantasia is another one. Earlier in the lifespan of the Sega Genesis, I remember renting this thinking, ooh, cool. The Disney games are generally pretty good, and this one generally pretty isn't. Now, I loved the little opening sequence where it's like the band's warming up, the orchestra's warming up. And what throws me off with this game, and a couple of other Mickey Mouse games too, is it should just be default bop on their head. You shouldn't have to hold the down button to activate the yes, I'm going to attack them, and instead of not. Now you do that on DuckTales, makes sense, because you have your pogo with the cane. This one, it's the same graphic whether you're pushing down or not, but you have to push down to actually defeat the enemies, unless you use one of your spells or something. And it's because of that, probably. It's because of that I keep not hitting the down button that makes this game super difficult, for me anyway. Stormlord. I remember seeing this in magazines as that, hey, this game came out in the United States, but they had to change some graphics. They had to cover up this fairy that you see here a little bit. Well, I don't know about all that, but when I actually did play the game, it was a game I probably rented and returned the same day. I don't think I ever lied about it by saying, hey, this game's broken, I need to grab another game. It just wasn't playable. In my opinion. I'm sure there's a way to open this door. I haven't figured it out yet. I've never left this room. This is the most I've ever played of this game, is just this. Now, I'm sure I could look up a tutorial or something, or somebody in the comments can say, oh, to open the door, you just have to do this, simply. In fact, the last time I talked about this game, I think somebody literally did that. And I was like, well, okay, whatever. And then disregarded it as I completely forgot what they said. So here's me not listening. Perfect. Wardener, man, this is a game I really, really enjoyed. I believe I played this at the Tiger Mart on 24th and Nob Hill in Yakima. That's where I played this game. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw this game. I mean, not that you're in Yakima, but if it wasn't there, let me know. Fun game on this one. You throw these little fireballs, but they kind of arc downward. It's like, you can throw them, but not very good. You know what I mean? It's like you're throwing fireballs, but they're kind of like fire wiffle balls in a way. It just kind of floats. That's all it is. Your jumping isn't very good. One hit kill on this game, but you can get the cloak. That will give you an extra hit point, so good to go there. But this game just, again, amps up later on where it gets to a point where it's just damn near impossible. It is possible, but boy oh boy, does it get harder later on. Very cool arcade game. Happy to see this on the Sega Genesis. Sure, we can add Contra Hardcore on here, or Hard Corpse, if that's how you pronounce it when it first came out. That's fine too. I will not judge, because everybody did. We have, this is Contra. Now, the Contra games traditionally have been pretty difficult. This is nothing new for a Contra game to be difficult. And if you're like, well, I've beaten Contra on the NES 1,000 times, yeah, without the 30-man code, I know a few who can, and maybe you can. I can't. But yes, this game is that difficult. A great story, I remember this. I had a friend of mine, we were staying the night, and we realized there's a enemy. Enemies keep running out on the first stage at a certain part, so I was like, okay, if I just have my turbo controller here, and just put the leg of the chair here, so it's always shooting the enemies to rack up points, then if we just leave it alone for a few hours, we'll have, like, extra lives. So we did that. And it didn't help, and we lost the lives almost immediately, so all of that wasted time. Super fun game. I really, really do enjoy Contra Hardcore. Yeah, I'm not as gung-ho at the Contra games as most people are, but this one is one of my favorite Contra games for sure. It's just, man, super hard. And I've heard the import version's easier, but I'm not going by that. I'm going by, you know, what I played growing up. Back to the Future 3. I remember seeing this for rent at the local video store. And I was like, well, I mean, not a great game, based after the worst of the 3 movies on not my preferred system of the time. So it's like 3 strikes already. And then when you play it, imagine, this is the best way I can describe this, and you're seeing the video play right now. Imagine if you popped in Lion King. For Super Nintendo, for Genesis, for Game Gear, doesn't matter. The Lion King 16-bit video game, right? Imagine playing Lion King, and as soon as you pop it in, it's immediately at the riding the ostrich double jump part. That's what this game feels like. Right when you pop it in, you're trying to, it's a race to the clocks to get to the end of the thing. And that's what it is. I've never got past this stage. Never needed to. Never wanted to. After about 3 seconds. Boy, you talk about amazing games that, man, they're just pretty difficult. The Adventures of Batman and Robin, I'm going to put this game on my list just because it's my list, and I remember loving this game, but it just got difficult because you have to go through the whole stage with your 3 lives. You do have a couple of continues, but you can only use those so many times to go through, let's say, the entire game. Very fun though. I mean, 2-player simultaneous for the most part during this era. I was mostly playing just, you know, 1-player games. It was a weird time for me. I was sick with Graves' disease. Some of my friends moved from high school to go to college, and I was just kind of by myself for a little bit. I had a couple of friends that would check out on me every once in a while, but really, this was during a time where I was mostly just kind of flying solo when it came to video games. And I loved this game, and I loved Batman and Robin, the animated series and all that, and this Genesis version was my favorite version of the Batman and Robin games that came out. Just loved everything about it, but it was a pretty difficult game. Maybe it would have been easier on a 2-player. Huh. We got Echo the Dolphin. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. Echo the Dolphin is a super difficult game. Leave it, once again, just like Chuck and the Forever Man, to Ed Annunziata, my homie, my buddy, the guy who invented X-Men and X-Men 2 for the Genesis as well, also did Echo. And it starts out kind of like a fun adventure. It's like, oh, you get to play as a dolphin? That's kind of fun. Oh, you get to use echolocation to talk to things and do whatever? Fun. But later on, holy moly, does it get like, you can't make a mistake. Or you will not survive that stage. Super difficult game, especially later on. Talked about it in my NES video. We'll add it to this one as well just for fun. It's The Immortal. This one does play better, it scrolls better, it acts better than the NES version. It's still hard. It's still difficult. It's still super cool. It still has amazing animation, especially on those death sequences and all that. But, you know, I added it for the NES one, we'll add it for this one too, why not? Landstalker, do I even need to tell you why this is a difficult game? You already see it. You already know. Isometric, hey, trust me, I don't mind isometric so long as you give me some shadows and shading so I can tell which is what where, if that makes sense. But this one does not. So sometimes you want to jump to the block next to you. Well, is it next to you? Or is it around the left and up the corner? It looks like it's right next to you, but sometimes it's not exactly the case. Love this game. Love Landstalker, just wish it had that shading. I also want to add this game to the list too, Sonic Spinball. Again, for me personally, Sonic Spinball, not a terrible game. It was like, okay, it's a Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off, whatever. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. My problem is, I'd rather it just be one or the other. Just give me Sonic the Hedgehog controls, as if I was on the casino stage, or just give me virtual pinball controls, which is kind of what this is. But then when you're standing on the platform, it's like, oh, you can still move around, you can still jump. It goes into like this weird slow motion. I don't feel like it's very responsive controls that I don't care for at all. And that's why this game is super hard for me. And we can also talk about Space Harrier 2 just briefly as well. Space Harrier 2, I like it all right. I know the animation's pretty choppy. I was a big fan of Space Harrier. But along with Space Harrier 1, sometimes they're shooting at you, and you don't, because of the choppy animation of the fireballs and everything going towards you, you don't realize they're right in front of you until you either move out of the way or until it's too late. So you have to constantly keep moving. You can't stay in one place ever, because you might be obstructing your own view from your own death, from your own demise. Well, and that's exactly what you'll get with Space Harrier 2 on the Sega Genesis. I still like it. Again, you just have to keep moving. You just have to keep moving. I'm always up for a challenge. What are some difficult Sega Genesis games? I'd love to check them out. Let me know in the comments. I also checked out the hardest NES games not too long ago. Please check out that video. Would love you for it, and thank you for supporting the channel. This has been a huge help for me and my family, and can't wait to see you at a convention sometime in the near future. Thanks.